Today on the Locked On Big 12 Squad. Whoa! Shoot, a Utah fan just threw a water bottle at me. This is the Locked On Big 12 Squad. And time for the longest intro that's ever existed.
You're talking ball with the Big 12 Squad. From Oklahoma State to Utah, from Kansas State to BYU, from Houston to Texas Tech, it's the local experts of the Locked On Podcast Network bringing you scoops, breakdowns, and the most comprehensive preview of the upcoming Big 12 weekend. Buckle up. It's the Big 12 Squad, and we have a seat for you. No hurt feelings and thin skin allowed. Squad up. You're part of the Big 12 Squad.
Ah, yes. My favorite part of every week is seeing Duke in our pregame Big 12 Squad intro. Something about grab your favorite drink and watch along with us and hang out and something. It's Cody Stovall of Locked On Oklahoma State, Chris Level of Locked On Texas Tech, Kevin Borba of Locked On Buffs, JT Wistersill represents Utah Utes, Richie Bradshaw of Locked On Sun Devils. JT, I think you're supposed to be in the Locked On Pac-12 squad this week. I didn't. It's interesting that you were able to sneak in here. Thank you for making our shows your first listen every single day. Your other favorite hosts will trickle in over the course of the show. I want to start this where we have to, obviously, with this last week Holy War deal, BYU and Utah.
Yeah, where's Jake's punk ass at?
I'm sorry. I sabotaged his car. I wanted to make sure I've already been through enough this week. I didn't want him on here.
His holding team or whatever. I mean, where's he at?
Yes,
JT,
Chris is my best friend on this pod right now.
Cut his brakes, and now Jake will be late to the show. That's where I wanted to start. Chris Level, the consummate professional who's been covering the Big 12 for a long time. You watched an athletic director take the podium and say, tonight, we don't want to be here. How did you react when you saw the Mark Harlan clip and see him on the field during the game?
It's the Rig 12. Yeah, no, yeah, you're 1-5, first of all, and like I don't, no, I mean, where else did you have to go, man? Like, if you don't want to be here, that's what I thought. I mean, I thought we were supposed to be a semi-happy family, but man, and it was. I mean, was he pissed about just the one call?
Yeah, he said really quick. He did say he was not happy today to be in the Big 12. I understand why it's been passed off as like in general in the conference, but he was. I mean, we're talking about a guy who literally got a flag for stepping onto the field the final play of the game, like was yelling at the refs as soon as the game was called. He completely lost his cool in every sense of the word.
Yeah, because there's been, under the Bob Bowlesby, tenure, there was a lot of public reprimands. We got a public reprimand here, but also a $40,000 fine. But this was stepping out there a bit, definitely. And what I appreciate,
bad look.
What I appreciate is the emotion. Because it matters there in Salt Lake, I'm guessing, right? It matters a lot, and they're not having a good season. Nobody likes losing, but I appreciated the emotion. But man, yeah, that's stepping out there a bit. I mean, if I was an athletic director, I'd probably get fined. But thank God I'm not. I'm not in a position of leadership.
That's about as level-headed pun as it will get on the Locked On Big 12 Squad after what happened on Saturday. Therefore, we have to go to Cody Stovall, the unconsummate professional. Cody, what did you think when you saw the athletic director at Utah's comments?
Well, I think he sounded like a big old blabbering baby, but I will say, if you don't know football, like, what are you doing? I will also say that I appreciate some semblance of it because our athletic director sees our football program in the toilet and is doing nothing and saying nothing. So I appreciated that. But yeah, man, it's a bad look, not only because of what he said, the way he kind of said it, even if some of it's being taken out of context. But at the end of the day, tell your football coach to tell his players to not grab dudes on the jersey, and you don't have that problem.
What is your shirt?
Friends University Falcons, a football team that knows how to win, that's about to win a conference title. Go to Wichita and see some real football, ladies and gentlemen, from Friends University.
What? Are you locked on Friends University now? Have you pivoted?
I'm making my pitch. Zach, if you can hear me, pretend I'm a lion and hear me roar. Locked on Falcons needs to be a thing, man, because I'm going through a bout of depression covering Oklahoma State this season.
Maybe you can hire one of their coaches on your staff, somebody that knows how to win, somebody in Stillwater. Cody, let's go there to you. There's been some controversy. Then we'll obviously jump into Arizona State, who's 7-2, and Colorado, who could go to the Big 12 championship. Cody, there were students who went to one of the Oklahoma State basketball games and held up these like paper signs, this copy paper, Sharpie written on it about firing both coordinators for Oklahoma State. The athletic department removed those signs from the student section. Let's talk about free speech there. And now the students aren't able to express their concerns about OK State football. Is that just where this whole program is right now?
Well, realistically speaking, Oklahoma State is very good, better than most, about controlling some of the narratives that come out of Stillwater America. So I don't know if you like that sort of thing or not, but Oklahoma State is phenomenal at that. I will throw a little caveat in here. Yes, they did take away the signs, which means that maybe they don't love free speech, but it's okay because somebody still won and snuck behind the TV announcers and had it on their phone for multiple games. So now they're going to have to do something about putting people directly behind Brooks Manzer whenever he's calling games.
Yeah, why has no one been fired yet?
I think, honestly, man, it's got to be something pretty crazy. Like, as it pertains to the offense coordinator, Casey Dunn, I'm pretty sure that Casey must have a video of Gundy performing fellatio at a Viva La Donkey show in Mexico.
Dang, man.
You know what?
Hey,
again, we're
going to have to cut that out. Throw up the X, man. Yeah, well, where's the edit, man?
I think we're going to have to leave it in. When you lose so many games in a row, I had a call last week with our head producer, Allie Bronson, where we talked for a half hour about whether or not to cut Cody's stunt in the third segment last week. And in the end, we decided he deserves it. He's been well behaved enough recently to deserve it. JT Westersill, you didn't get to talk too much about this Utah and BYU thing. What I want to ask you about this, we can get everybody's opinion. These are Utah students, for those watching on YouTube, who have spelled out TAHUTES. They've nailed Utah later in the game. They got all twisted around it. Was that old SNL sketch? You ever see that old SNL sketch with Will Ferrell where he's bopping around? That's a niche reference.
Yes.
JT, they could spell for part of the game. The football team could not play offense for part of the game. What happened on Saturday?
I mean, it's the same old story, right? Like, a part of a brief second quarter, 21 points. I felt like I was living a dream. And then I woke up in the second half as Utah couldn't score at all in the second half. You can say what you want about the calls, but at the end of the day, had several chances to still stop them late in the game and couldn't do it. The offense is abysmal. And I mean, just some of the you give up a 96-yard kickoff. The list is endless about other reasons they lost the game, even outside of calls that I did not like. And I'll also just say this. I was also really not pleased with everything that transpired post-game with Mark Harlan, because I felt like then you create a whole distraction, and now you're like taking shots at the entirety of the Big 12. Like, it's real. It's just bad. I mean, Brandon Rose is out for the season. He started for Utah on Saturday at quarterback, so they're going back to Isaac Wilson now after he got benched. How's his confidence going to be? It's dark times in Salt Lake, and it's only one who can probably relate to that is Cody and Stillwater. So it's the two teams that at one time, by the way, Cody, we played in the top 15 matchup at Oklahoma State. Can you remember that? And look at us now, chilling at the bottom together.
JT, I'm going to tell you what I tell the rest of my orange-loving faithful. Just go to Wichita, man.
Yeah.
Just go to Wichita.
Friends University.
Friends University.
Maybe the Big 12 season is just the Friends University we made along the way. Maybe that's all that matters in this whole big song and dance. Kevin Borba, Richie Bradshaw, they both got big wins this week. That is Colorado and Arizona State. Let us go there next on the single most football-focused Big 12 squad possibly in history. Today's Locked On Big 12 Squad is brought to you by FanDuel. Hey. Hi. FanDuel is where you can go for America's #1 sportsbook. That's right. And you bet $5 right now on BYU this weekend or Utah this weekend. Get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on NFL or college football all in one place. You can even check live stats, live play-by-play, and so much more on that same page where you place your bets. Visit FanDuel.com to join today. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That is FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. That is FanDuel.com, or download the FanDuel app. America's #1 sportsbook. $150 on a $5 win? You best bet. FanDuel.com.
Wait, haven't we only talked about the whole Mark Harlan thing? So, like, are we really the most football-focused one yet?
More or less at this point.
When do we start making fun of each other?
Mountaineer Paul's, yeah. Why? No one's been mean yet this week. Mountaineer Paul, you got any strays to throw out?
Not after what Cody said in the first segment. I can't compete with it.
Yeah, something about just a lot of things we may have.
Go ahead, Greg.
Cut out. I have been your bigged advocate to corporate in the last month. Your biggest advocate, because I know you're going through it. Let's go to Kevin Borba, Locked On Buffs. Maybe the most momentum of any team in the Big 12 because of how Colorado is winning these games. A blowout against Texas Tech. I say blowout. They dominated the second half, whereas Tech looked in control very early on. Borba, is this the inkling of a football team playing its top football that can win the Big 12 championship?
Yeah, I think the second part, yes, I think they can win a Big 12 championship. But the first part, no. Deion Sanders said that they haven't played their best game yet. He even said Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter haven't played their best game yet. So I think there's a lot to be optimistic around Colorado.
Do you believe that? Do you believe, because every head coach says that. Do you believe that?
Honestly, I think partly so. Like, I don't think, and Chris, you could attest to this as well, I don't think Shedeur and Travis had their best game by any means this past weekend. Like, I personally said that was the worst. I've seen those two on the same page since they've been in Boulder. And so they just weren't their same players that I've been accustomed to seeing. And realistically, the offensive line could be better. The run game could be better. Like, everything can be better in one way or another. But for Colorado fans, I think they have to be pretty happy to go from 1-11 2 years ago to where they are now. And also, shout out to Mark Harlan, because I think, and Utah, because the refs there, I think they got bailed out by the refs in Lubbock. Chris, what would you say about that? 23 penalties that were, some of them were rightfully called, others not so much.
There was a missed face mask or 3. Yeah.
5, right? 5. Well, we'll go back and count them, Chris.
There's
5.
There's video of it.
A missed
too.
fumble. A missed fumble that turned into a touchdown for Texas Tech.
I mean, there was a lot of bad officiating. I'm used to it, so I'm kind of numb to the whole thing. It's the rigged 12, man. I'm telling you, the whole thing's rigged. And the Buffs benefit. I mean, Deion gets all the benefit of the doubt. Yeah, I said it.
Wow. Got loud for it too.
Yeah,
Chris.
I'm just kidding.
Thanks for modulating.
I'm just funning. Yeah.
Edit that audio down. There is a Richie Bradshaw here who is 7-2. Chris, Cody, look at him. Look at that guy. JT, Richie Bradshaw's team is 7-2 this season, and your teams are doing what? Arizona State is in the running for the conference championship. Richie, and they won again this week without maybe the best offensive player in the Big 12 in Cam Scadaboo. Will he be back this week? And is Arizona State, now we talk about BYU being a team of destiny, could Arizona State also be in that category?
For Cam Scadaboo, I don't have the injury report, and I'm certainly way down on the list of people that they would talk to about that. What I can tell you is in the third quarter of the game, Scadaboo was bugging Dillingham, tugging his shirt and everything. He's like, "Put me in. I'll go get my pads." This is a guy who just classic hard-nosed football. Like, yeah, I can play through a broken jaw and everything, all that good stuff. And I imagine there's no way you're going to find any scenario where he sits out a second straight game, especially now that you're not entirely in control of the rest of your season, but if one or two things goes right for you, you are right there to potentially go to a Big 12 conference game. So there's no chance for me that Cam Scadaboo is sitting out any more games unless it's like a serious season-ending injury, which it doesn't sound like that's the case at all. As far as that win over UCF, it was not the best offensive performance we've had, and it's not a surprise that comes without Scadaboo. But we did get to see the development of Sam Leavitt from week 1 to this past weekend and throwing the darts that he's been throwing. If you had showed me this game tape of him against UCF in week 1, I would have been like, wow, that looks really good for a season from now. Like, the development just over the couple of months is so good, and you really hope that it's just the beginning. But Leavitt was able to win you that game with great throws, 3 touchdown passes. He was efficient, didn't turn the ball over. And as Chris Level can attest, we're just bringing him back into the conversation over and over again. The Sun Devils this year, when they get down, they typically just really get themselves out of the game. It happened at Texas Tech. There was a couple of plays that went wrong, and ASU just could not get themselves mentally back into the game. It happened against Cincinnati and against UCF. They're throwing all these body blows, and ASU just keeps getting up, and they're like, yeah, I didn't hear no bell. And
Richie,
it was the best effort they've had.
December 20th, 2004. That's when Sam Levitt was born.
Doesn't that make you feel great?
Cody's quarterback was born in 96. JT's was born in 93. Like, how is Sam Levitt outplaying seventh-year quarterback, 18th grade?
That is not Cody's quarterback. He wants nothing to do with that quarterback that you're linking.
He's got the baby face, too. It's all clean-shaven, and I'm like, I don't even know if I would allow you to vote, let alone get alcohol on Mill Avenue or anything.
2004. Can he? I don't know. Is he 21? Oh, he's probably not. There's math involved in that. Cody, is he 21?
Ooh.
Yeah, the quarterback.
He sounds like an owl.
Yeah,
Alan Bowman's like 41. What are we talking about?
Alan Bowman can definitely buy alcohol.
Is Arizona State 2 games away from the Big 12 title game, or is Kenny Dillingham 2 games away from going somewhere else?
First of all, no.
Even trade.
I promise you.
Trade.
I'll shave the beard, my head, everything. Dillingham has said this is his dream job. He's an ASU alum.
Never heard that.
Up in the valley.
Yeah, can I interject there? Find me a coach that has ever
They'll bury me in a pine box and bear it right here. Yeah,
find me a coach that has ever said this isn't my dream job and I'm going to leave soon. Like, I feel like if a bigger job comes up,
who were you leaving for?
I mean, what jobs are open?
Oklahoma State, Richie.
Right now,
horrible.
Maybe this offseason nowhere because nobody's leaving. But like next year when Florida turns on Billy Napier or Mike Norvell turns on Florida State or whoever else gets turned on, right?
And then you throw money at him to get him to leave, but ASU's catching up with NIL now. They're going to get to a point where they're going to have deep pockets too. And they're going to say, look, Kenny, we'll give you whatever extension you want. You're not going anywhere. ASU is finally realizing that they're a big enough university that they have that kind of pull. And now that everything is going their way, who knows, the sleeping giant, quote unquote, that ASU's been called for decades, maybe it woke up. I don't know.
So you like how you just light the match and then you just walk away and then watch the whole thing blow up.
Exactly. Just full on Denzel Washington in Man on Fire. I wish you had more time.
Well, speaking of things blowing up really quick, can I just say how much I feel like I'm in the upside down? Because I just listened to 5 minutes of Richie and Kevin talk about how Colorado and Arizona State are the Big 12 contenders, while me and Cody, Oklahoma State and Utah, preseason favorites right up there at the top, have not won a game in what feels like an eon at this point. I mean, it's JT, just this conference is wild, and I was not ready for how crazy things would get here. I'm not. Is
your only conference win against Cody?
Yes.
That's insane.
That's like my one saving.
Did the Lockdown Utahs just say I wasn't ready for this conference? Is that clip that? Oh, weird rhetoric coming from a Utah guy.
It's already on X.
Now, near Paul, I was going to you next because you were in this weird football purgatory of we're going to fire the coach, but the coach you're going to fire keeps accidentally winning games. Now what do you do?
It's a weird thing because. And look, I realize there's a lot of ifs to everything, but when you're a fan of a team, you look at scenarios. And for West Virginia, the scenario is this. Kansas State and Colorado have to lose one game. West Virginia has to beat UCF, Baylor, and Texas Tech, and they're in the Big 12 championship game. It's the weirdest scenario possible, and I can't imagine Neil Brown being in that scenario because –
I just hope everybody has fun. I mean, don't you like the tailgate? I mean, the weather's great. You know, the whole deal, right?
Right. Yeah. Listen, he has not been happy the last few weeks at all.
What's crazy is he keeps saying stupid stuff and then winning football games. Like,
aren't you in the same camp as like ASU and a couple other programs of like you're in that third place tier, and if a couple things go right for you, you're right there?
Pretty much.
Yeah. That's insane. Big 12.
Yeah, I mean, we're right there. I mean,
West
Arizona
Virginia's
State,
all in or
Iowa
bust,
State.
I guess.
Yeah, pretty much. We've been told though that Neil's not going anywhere.
What do they owe him? Like 20? What do they owe him? 25 million?
With the coaches, the assistant coaches, it's up there. It's right around. Caught me off guard with it. I think it's a 14 now.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah. All right, we're good.
You're thinking of what we owe Gundy.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of coaches who keep winning games when we don't think they should, where's Cam at?
His team's good. The second that Cam Stewart from Locked On Baylor got good, he was like, all right, never mind.
It's because he's facing Neil Brown this weekend.
Yeah, he is. And they've never won at West Virginia. The Mountaineers are going to win this game against Baylor and then still be in the conversation for the Big 12 title. And fans are going to continue to be in that weird purgatory of fire the coach or don't.
if we go 2-1 down the stretch, the old Browns going to have a 9 and 8 win season in two consecutive years. It sounds kind of crazy to say, like people on his side are saying, look, he could go 9 and 8, and you're saying, screaming, fire him. Maybe the fans' expectations are too high, right? It's a fun conversation to have.
Speaking of bombs, talked about bombs earlier, which I'm not sure if are we FCC regulated. Bam! Jake Hatch joins the show. Coming up in the third segment, it's the Locked On Big 12 Squad. Today's show is brought to you by Game Time. Oh, there's a game coming to you this weekend? That means it's time for you to go to Game Time and download the app and get tickets for cheap. And when I say cheap, I mean the lowest price guaranteed, or 110% of the difference back to you. You have a seat view, so you can get a panoramic view from your seat. All-in pricing, toggle that feature. It shows you the total up front with no surprise fees at checkouts. And Game Time Picks curation makes it easier to save more on sports, concerts, comedy, theater. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time Picks. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game Time. That's Game Time. Download it today. I love the out of the
wacky inflatable arm flailing Jake Hatch, man.
Do you guys know the Costco guys thing that we bring?
Yes,
Boom.
we bring
Seen that? Yeah, Chris. Yeah, I feel like that might be out of your wheelhouse.
Chris,
there.
can you do the dance?
Ask your dog.
Why does Jake get to show up tardy?
That's what we do. Because he's undefeated.
I was going to say, he can do whatever he wants right now until he loses in 12 years.
Jake was featured in a John Boy video. And
he was. He's my very own this week. I saw, it's like unrelated, but this week there was a video of a guy at an airport in TSA checkout seeing the Costco boys and going, "Hey, we bring the boom," which is a wild thing to yell at an airport, by the way. You should not ever, even if it's their catchphrase.
Did he get dragged off in handcuffs? Do we know?
No, I haven't seen the end of that video, though Mark Harlan could have gotten dragged off in handcuffs after Saturday's game. All right, Jake. JT has been maybe the greatest Utah fan in America. Even Chris and Cody had some level-headed stuff to say earlier about Mark Harlan and Utah. What is your reaction perspective after Saturday's whatever that was?
Okay, I get him ripping the officiating. That's one thing. But to walk on the field of play while a play is live and draw an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty that, let's say, however improbable scoring on that play is, had they scored on that and that gets called back, isn't he absolutely getting a kick to the curb that night?
I agree with that 1,000%.
That's the thing
on the
about
tarmac.
Yeah, exactly. He gets tarmacked.
At home.
They drive him out to Salt Lake International and they just leave him on the tarmac.
Exactly. Time to have passion these days. Wow.
So that's the thing. You can rip the officiating, but to literally be an active AD and to walk onto the field to play when coaches and players know you just do not do that. That screams of you being essentially a petulant child. That completely unacceptable.
I've never seen an AD call for the ball during a pitchy woo at the end of the game. Like, come on, boys, I'll take us there. That was the storyline of the week this week in the Big 12, and now we get the Vampire Cougs against Kansas on Saturday. I do want to talk about that, but before we go there, Parker Ainsworth of Locked On Cougs sent me two videos. One says Parker Ainsworth on non-football Big 12 edited.
That can't be good.
All right, let's see.
All right, Big 12 squad. It is Parker Ainsworth, host of Locked On Cougs. And I know sometimes we don't talk about football always. I wish you'd be there to join in on the fun. However, I'm out coaching, teaching, some combination of all that, fueled, of course, by 5 Hour Energy. But if we're not talking about football, I've got some thoughts, and I want to get your opinions first. When is it appropriate to put out Christmas decorations? The shopping center in my house, the grocery store, and the gym and stuff in it already has them out. I think it's way too early, even if it's going to make for a cute photo op at some point. The second thing I'm wondering what you're thinking about here is, as we get closer to Thanksgiving, we're talking about who's bringing what, what's the best pie, and why is the answer pecan? The last thing I want to get your opinion on, though, is to get closer to Thanksgiving, get through the month of November, and we're talking about things besides football because that's what we tend to do here. Am I the only one that watches the dog show on Thanksgiving? I want that part of my morning carved out, and people are giving me a hard time about it. I think the Westminster Dog Show is fantastic. Let's host a Locked On Westminster Dog Show.
What is this?
Let me know what you think. Excited to hear you guys' opinions. Sorry I can't be there in person or whatever, but got to go coach them up and all that. Talk to you guys later.
What even?
Wait a
was
minute.
that?
Wait. How is that his best video quality he's ever had? It's the best video quality he's ever had, and he's not even here. That's wild.
Don't play the other video.
Yeah, just leave that.
I don't think he deserves the other video.
Don't put it on time.
Really?
That should be
Brain rot. That's what that was.
Probably better
that
than
should
watching
be the
these
entire squad video. That should be the only thing people see.
Your basketball team loses and he's talking about Christmas decorations. I mean, like what?
That's
what
it.
is going on?
How soon is
That
too
should be
soon?
the only thing.
I'm a Thanksgiving night type of guy, so to answer his questions, but I feel like on
November
most
1st.
episodes that would be a perfect.
We're
sort
not
of,
even. It's not even Thanksgiving week. Thanksgiving's in
November 1st.
16 days. What the?
That's
why
a
is
perfect
that-
video for a typical Big 12 squad, but like we're football oriented now, so I don't. That doesn't.
Good job.
I just, it was the title of "If We're Not Talking About Football, Play This."
Okay, but pecan pie, really? Pecan's number one? No.
Right.
Yeah. It's regional.
What are you, Jake? A butter chest guy?
Yeah,
No, I am sour cream lemon, baby. If you haven't tried it, give it a try.
Oh, you can't dog
Jesus.
pecan and then drop sour cream and lemon in our
What are you
lap.
Play the
doing?
video again, just for that. Play the video again.
Please no. Please no.
This is the Big 12 squad I
Hey,
came
you know
for.
what? It's never too early to hang Christmas decorations.
Max.
All right. There's nothing better.
Cody's has
than-
been on his porch since 2016. So
There's
that's
nothing better than American apple pie. All right.
Good point.
And I would rather watch the Westminster Dog Show than whatever show
Okay.
Dunn and Gundy have on each other.
And let me also say this, Drake. My wife is a big pecan pie fan. I like to make fun of her because I like to call it her nut jelly pie. That's what I like to call it. It makes her angry every
Hey,
time.
yo.
pause.
That seems.
And
Pause.
Big 12 squad, Park Ranger, teacher and coach, fueled by Stay in the Fan 5 energy. I can't make
What
it
is
there
this
tonight.
one?
I'm recording beforehand
He
because
said
I'm coaching,
two.
but I got some takes
This
I
one
gotta get
says
off about football. And
Ainsworth on the
Spencer
Big
after we actually
12.
talk football. So here we go. Jersey uniforms, those kind of things.
he said we're going to talk football and immediately goes
And
into
he's coaching who? Because I feel sorry for them.
A little sponsored 5-hour energy thing too.
Whoever he's coaching is going to lose.
Did he get a shot in at Spencer too?
yeah, he did. Who's also not here after he got just absolutely trashed last. Trash is the wrong word, but
Hey, don't make fun of Sid. Don't make fun of
deserves
Sid.
it.
Don't make fun of Sid, Drake.
Salt Lake. We are going to get him one of the Toy Story Sid shirts, I believe. Production's working on that as we speak. I did a shot ski in Salt Lake.
Yes, you did.
BYU fans, plug your ears. Only 1.5 ounces of tequila. Do you guys know that? No 2-ounce shots. That 0.5 ounces is what gets you.
Well,
In West
I
Virginia,
saw
we
your
let
little,
the
I saw your
cheesecake
little
is
picture.
by.
That was solid
Drake,
work, man. Yeah.
Drake, welcome to what we like to call the Zion Curtain out here in Utah. Liquor laws are a unique thing out this way.
Okay, they had little like the machine on the bottle that forces you.
yes.
So if you ask for a double, they're like, no chance. That sinners do that. They won't pour you a double, but if you ask for 2 vodka cokes or whatever, they'll give you 2. They just won't put them in the same cup.
Did you say sinners?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sinners with the
Yeah,
N?
Like
Yes, as in
I live probably with the
bad
Bible
things we
Belt,
do.
so I thought you said sinners. Like okay,
that's yes. All right. Anybody else got anything or whatever?
You know,
Hey,
Jake
Jake.
is really kind. I appreciate that. Thanks, Jake. You're a good friend.
Whenever you lose a game, I invite you to be a fan of the Friends Falcons. You're welcome.
I got you, man. I got you. We'll see what happens. I'm wary of Kansas, by the way. The way that they went and won this past week, BYU better be careful.
All right. I'm going to TGI Fridays. Those are the guys that were here
R.I.P.
today. I'm sure
I'm
they'll
just a
be
little
here
wary of Colorado, just a little bit
next
this
week.
weekend, just
And
with them.
You don't have a
So you-
quarterback, JT.
That's why I said just a little bit. Where do I lose by 20? Just a
Is it
little
you?
bit.
maybe next week we'll rank our top jerseys in the Big 12. I
Hey,
don't
we're not
know.
going to talk about Alan Bowman playing his old team.
We're gonna ask Parker
When is it
Ainsworth
appropriate for Christmas decorations?
if
to
his
come out?
Pee Wee
That-
team won. or
November
whatever he's
1st, Chris.
coaching. I think Parker
I don't even
Ainsworth,
decorate.
offensive coordinator
I
for
don't even
William and Mary, and William didn't even show up. We're going
Can we ban
Chris?
Parker from ever emailing videos in again?
I
Can we just,
should
ban
have vet that. I should
wait,
have
what's
vet
our
both
video
videos.
ranking?
I appreciate you cutting it immediately.
Do we
Let's
have
talk
video
about
rankings?
football top 5 jerseys in the Big 12. That's Parker Ainsworth. Those are the people that talked on the show today. If you're on YouTube, you can read their names. If you're on audio, just look up Locked On, whoever your team is, and make it your first listen every single day. And that's how we all get to keep our jobs. This has been, and it always will be, Locked On. Thanks for making our shows your first listen every single day. The Dose Grande Squad.